Hello, welcome to Visual Effects Hut's channel, and today we'll be looking at the Arcana lenses. Before buying these bad boys, on paper I was thinking the only thing that sucks about them is the fact that the stretch factor is only 1.5 times. So I was like, how can we make that 2 times? So I had the idea of using this old Sirui adapter, sticking them together, and seeing what happens. So what I've noticed from these tests are that the adapter doesn't bring what I thought it would to the table. I was expecting even more stretch and getting that more 2 times characteristic. Surprisingly, the oval didn't change shape. I thought it might like turn into a strip, but it doesn't seem to multiply that shape of the aperture. So on the 32mm, you'll notice that like it's pretty much unusable because it creates so much vignetting, and obviously you can see the adapter in the shot. As for the 45, it's a bit more usable, but there's still a bit of vignetting, but it seems like marginal, so it's not necessarily worth using it. So the adapter does make the 75mm sing because it kind of gives it a bit more character, because although the 75 looks gorgeous, there is a little less barrel distortion. It doesn't sit as close to the other two. Like 32 is too extreme, 45 is perfect, but 75, you lose a bit of the distorted edges. Let's have a look at some shots with the Arcana lens on their own, without any adapter. And for the last part of this section of the video, here's a few shots side by side with and without the adapter to kind of see the difference in how much you gain from the adapter. So from these tests, you can see like the barrel distortion is gorgeous. It's perfectly well balanced. It's lovely across all the lenses. It's probably a little bit too severe in the 32mm, but you can correct for that in post. If you do want that barrel distortion to just be a little bit stronger on that 75, you can either add it in post or you can use the Sirui adapter or the DZO adapter. So I do think they're a clean, modern look with characteristics of an anamorphic lens. So that's kind of a nice medium and a nice balance to be in, because you can jump into software and tweak and change things to make them a little bit softer if you wish, which you can do by just adding 1 pixel blur either across the whole image or just on edges. The third thing that is wicked about these lenses is the contrast. In the mids and like generally overall. So it's almost deliverable straight away. we've got a tendency when minimum ISOs was 2000 to kind of see everything in the shadows, and it's kind of been a look for a few years, but it's nice to see that people are slowly getting back to contrast because they realise, oh, actually, it's nice not to see everything in the image. Having that in the lens at the starting point is really nice. So having a good contrast balance in the lens is good. Obviously, it can be tweaked as well further in post, and then when you bring down the log footage as well, you got even more leeway. So the next thing is the oval bokeh. Again, looks great in camera. With the adapter, I thought it would change the stretch to make it feel like more like a strip, because it's like an oval times an oval, but it doesn't necessarily work like that. It still keeps an oval, which is really cool. Even the Arcana lenses on their own, the oval is really nice. It's not necessarily a perfect shape, which is not necessarily a good thing, but it's not necessarily a bad thing either. I think if you film a lot of fairy lights, then it's a problem, but that's usually only in tests or very specific scenarios. With foliage and city lights and stuff like that, it kind of looks fine. It feels a bit more normal and organic, it's fine. Next up, flares. For me, that is not a characteristic of anamorphic that really makes me happy. It's cool, but it's the compression, oval bokeh, and the fact that you get a wider image with the same sort of focal length that you love. So in terms of flares, they're not consistent across the board. Some have got a horrible line across the whole image, which is not necessarily a good thing because it looks like that cheap fishing wire trick that has been around for years. If the fishing wire trick was a bit fatter, it might look okay, but usually it's just a thin streak that looks like there's a problem with the camera, so I don't really like that. The 45 tends to flare, I think it's the 45, tends to flare in the middle, so it actually looks nice and a bit more proper. For me as a visual effects artist as well, it's not necessarily an issue because it means that we can jump into software like real lens flares and be able to change it and tweak it to make it look like some of the lenses that we love, like Panavision, Mercury lenses, even custom, and make it completely not based on any actual lens out there anyway. So you've got more flexibility to be able to do that in post, and you can dial it up or down, which is good because that's another good thing about these flares. I thought they were going to flare really easy, but they don't, which makes me happy, I guess, because I'd rather do that than have a horrible streak through the lens that's a bit harder to get rid of. So the reason I bought the Arcanas was because they finally got to a point where I was thinking, you know what, that actually looks like the look that I want to achieve. I did buy the Sirui Venus lenses about 3 years ago. Did one test, here's some footage. They've lived in the box ever since because they've got a general flat, contrasty, very crisp and sharp image, like consistently over the whole image, that I'm just not a fan of. So it's a bit sad to see them just be in a box, but they are on eBay for sale now. I've been following like budget anamorphics for ages, but like I've not bought any just because they've kind of not been up to scratch, I guess. With the Mantis, it just wasn't enough stretch. With the Remus, it just created wibbly wobbly effects, and you couldn't stop it all the way down. You get super strong chromatic aberration, which I do like, and you can actually add chromatic aberration to the Arcanas in post. But yeah, all the other lenses, they've all had quirks that are just not fun to deal with. Fast forward to now, which is Viper versus Arcana. There was a little bit of a way up, but I think in the end, the Arcanas give you a bit more flexibility because they're a bit sharper, which you can dull down. The fact that the Vipers seem to flare a little bit easier and a bit more crazy, which means that you don't necessarily have flexibility over the look of the flare. The chromatic aberration is a little bit of an issue, it's not a major issue. Plus the Arcanas will probably allow you to do paid work with them if there's call for that kind of format, which is a bit rare these days. And then I guess the other reason is literally just the reason I got into filmmaking was probably because of the films that I saw that was anamorphic. It felt different to real life and it looked better. And now the modern films as well, like Project Hail Mary and The Creator and Andor, they all look stunning, and it's probably due to obviously lighting and the geniuses behind it, but it's the lenses as well, they just look gorgeous. So just leaving this video with just 2 tips. This is how to expensify your lens flares to make them look a little bit nicer with the Arcana footage. So if we jump into After Effects, Premiere or Resolve, we can drag on real lens flares, link in description where to get that from. And then as you can see on the left, we've got lots of lenses that we can simulate, and we can even customize and make our own. So it's just a little bit of a time lapse of just doing that. I might do a tutorial on this specifically, but let's just show you what kind of results you can get quickly. And then here's another tip just to make that 75mm look a bit more distorted if you don't have the adapter or don't want the adapter or don't want the faff of the adapter. I've been doing tutorials for visual effects for ages, but if you want to see more filmmaking stuff like this, comment, like, subscribe and all that nonsense, and hopefully I'll get a little bit better at it. I've been Jack, and I'll catch you on the next one.